Hey YouTube, as promised in the last video guys, I am here to show you how to field strip and clean an AR-15. Now this happens to be the Smith & Wesson M&P Sport 2. This is a 223-556 round gun, and I want to show you something very important before we begin. Now, we all know to check your gun before and after cleaning. Obviously, you can see there is no magazine in here, and if I go ahead and just cycle this, you can see there's nothing in there at all, right? It's clean, it's empty, and we're ready to clean. Now, if you thought that, you're wrong. So let me just go ahead and give a little tap back here. And let's just eject this slide one more time. Let's see, ready? Nothing. So we're good to go, right? We are completely empty. So I tapped everything, we are good. And look at that. A bullet inside there. Now, if I didn't know that I had that inside there, I would have swore that after, sliding that back and forth a few times, even hitting the little forward assist on it, that, okay, there's obviously no way that there could be any ammo in there. But, again, I was completely wrong. Now, I knew that was in there, I just put that in there to show you guys how important it is to thoroughly check your firearms before you're cleaning them. Because just because you think it's empty, and just because you sat there and you racked it and you made sure that everything's empty, that does not mean it's always empty. So I'm going to personally clear this now. I'm looking through the barrel. I can see lights, so I know that is clear. So we are good to begin. And I kind of like to start off with little things like that to really make you think about stuff before you do this. Because you only get one chance to live. You kill yourself, you're done. So always think smart when cleaning guns. Now, let's get into the gun cleaning, shall we? This here is pretty much the standard build that you're going to see in most AR-15s. And, for overall, I mean, there might be slight differences between manufacturers, but overall there's really not too much of a difference. And there's really two breakdown pins that make this super easy to clean. This is very similar to the Smith & Wesson 1522, the 22 that I did a cleaning video on a while ago. There are two little bolt, one right there, and there's one on the back over here. So what you do is you push in on this side, there's a little pin, and then you pull out the pin over on this side here. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to break the gun there, and it allows you to get to some of the important parts. Now, what I'll usually do is I'll break the front pin, which is always kind of a pain. I don't understand why that one's so much tighter, but I'll give it a little tap with something plastic to make sure I don't damage it. And then if you need a little more force, you can use a screwdriver. Probably better to use a plastic screwdriver or something, but to each their own. Okay, so there we go. Once you have both pins lifted up like so, then all you have to do is take the two pieces of the gun apart. Now, the back part, typically, there's not a ton you have to clean in here. What I'll usually do is I will take a cloth and I will go just clean up any debris that might be in the magazine chamber here. See how the trigger assembly looks. If there's a lot of dirt and grime in there, I'll use some Q-tips and different stuff like that. So Q-tips, I think, work pretty well. Usually I'll just take some oil and just kind of get around inside there. They're really easy to maneuver inside small spaces like that. So that Q-tip really seems to work pretty well, and I use those a lot. And they don't really leave a ton of dust or fuzz or anything like that inside of the gun afterwards. So the lower part here, like I said, there's not a ton you can do. I mean, if you really want, after a lot of use, you could take the recoil spring out. There's a little pin down there that holds it in place. So you could take that spring out, clean it up, oil it. But I typically don't do that very much. Now, on the upper part, we've got the bolt, which we can pull out here. And all you have to do is just release it, and the whole thing will come out here. So you can take this out, go ahead and clean all the dirt and grime and gunpowder residue and everything else that's left on here. And then if you want, you can also slide this out here. That also makes it a lot easier to run a cleaning brush completely through the firearm. So it's easier to stick it in, one end, run it all the way through, And it's a lot easier to maneuver when it's two different pieces like this. So I'll take it completely apart, and I will go clean it like that. Now, there's a lot more that you can break this thing down. Depends on how much you really want to do to it. I mean, for a general field strip cleaning like this, that's pretty much all I'll do. Is I will take these out of it, just clean those up nicely, oil them, make sure that they're nice and oiled. Not too much, of course. Obviously, never want to soak anything in it. And then go and clean the barrel and clean inside here as well. I'll use some more Q-tips and rags to just get down inside of here and make sure that if anything is shining, then that means obviously it's rubbing, so give it a little bit of extra oil. So I've had a few people ask how I did get this vertical Magpul grip up front. This is by Magpul. I don't know the exact model number. I will try to look that up and put that in the description once I find that. But it was really simple. Basically, what it did was there are these holes on the top and the bottom of the gun, and in order to take these plastic pieces off, there's this little bushing, or I forgot the technical term for it, but you basically pull down on this, and it allows you to pull the plastic halves off this. So I'm not going to do it now because I don't have the gun assembled, but it pretty much takes two people to do. But you pull down on this, and then you pull the plastic piece off. There's a little mini rail underneath this thing that the handle attaches to. So you attach this mini rail. Two screws go up the rail. They go from the base into the plastic, and then you put these two little cams inside of the plastic on the other end, and that attaches it firmly to there, and then the handle screws onto that tiny little rail that it's got there, and now you've got a really effective vertical grip on this, which for me, I don't know, ergonomically it feels a lot nicer holding it with the vertical grip, because it just feels more like a gun, like you're kind of holding it like you would a pistol, instead of having to have your hand sideways and awkwardly twist your wrist and stuff trying to get that on there. So, I mean, that's, like I said, if you really need a video, I could possibly take it apart, but doing it solo is kind of a pain, and I did manage to do it by myself, so it is possible, even though the instruction manual tells you not to, because it says it's a two-person job, because this does have a lot of force holding that on. But if you really want it on there, I think it looks nice. I would recommend it. It's a lot easier to hold and more ergonomical than just holding this sideways. I don't know. I personally like it. But so that's basically how we field strip that there. I just cleaned this the other day, and probably doesn't need too much on here now. I'm just going to go ahead and just oil up a rag real quick and just kind of lube this stuff back up a little bit. It seemed a little bit dry. And you can see it still has a lot of the factory grease on here. This thing actually has not been shot yet, so I'm not going to be able to do a review on this one yet until I get it to the range at least a few times, which probably shouldn't take too long. So I'll go ahead and clean all this stuff. I'm just going to make sure it has all oil. And you can just see that the factory grease is very thick. It feels thick on here as well. I hate how it feels, so a lot of times I'll go through and clean it super clean, just get it nice and oiled back up, and then just put everything back together. So we'll put this all back through here. And to get it back together, you insert it the exact same way it came out, with the little gas tube on facing towards the top and the front, and you insert it into here, and there we go. So that's on there. Once you get the lower all cleaned up and ready to go, you line up the front on here. And doing this without looking is a little more difficult than it seems. But if you put the pieces all back right, then you can lock the pins in place. Whoops. Trying not to break everything in my house here. So I got the back in and the front in, so there we go. And that's basically it. Now, this model here does come with the dust cover, which I'll probably get it more into all the specs on it later on when I do the actual review of it. But it does come with the dust cover, which is nice. It also comes with the Magpul flip-up iron sights, which is nice because then it also allows you to still use the red dot and any other accessories that you'd want to put on here. So that is all for cleaning it. Like I said, it's very similar to the 1522. I hope this video helped you out if this is your first AR. If you need more info, maybe go watch my 1522 video if you still have questions. And if you still have them after that, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to answer it as best as I can. And like I said, guys, I will be doing another video here shortly of the actual review once I get to take it to the range a few times. So until then, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys next time.